Welcome to another episode of the Sports Mecca podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Abramo. As always, I'm joined by my partner, Sam Hengeli. Today, we have the opportunity to speak with Austin Peay Governors defensive back, Demetries Ford. Demetries, Sam and I appreciate the time this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. So to start this episode, both Sam and I would really like to know, what you've been up to lately. Your season ended in the end of November. So update us on, what the past month or so has been like in the off season.
When the season ended, I flew back home to Miami. I'm from Miami, Florida. Flew back home, got to spend time with my family for Christmas. And then I want to say immediately after Christmas on the January 1st, I got back to working out. So it was just slowly training, getting ready to come back to school because, you don't want to come back out of shape because when you come back, you got winter workouts and running and all that. So you want to make sure you come back conditioned and strong. So I just made sure I worked out. So it was just nice to go back home, see my family, see my friends. So that's really what I've been up to the past month.
When is the official date for winter workouts?
Well, we already started. We started last week Thursday, last week Wednesday. We reported back Tuesday and we started Wednesday. So now we're just like, with Austin Peay, we go through phases, as we call it, throughout the season. So right now we just started phase one, which is just like workouts. And then I want to say early March, we'll start phase two, which is like boot camp. And then we'll just keep going from there. So right now we're just working out, focus on getting big. We're not running right now. We just strictly in the weight room.
What is boot camp like for those who don't know?
Boot camp consists of mat drills. For me, I'm not in Florida anymore, so it's cold. So it consists of running in the cold. You're outside. It builds team camaraderie because you just outside. Everybody going through the same thing. So it's just mainly mat drills. We do like this thing called campus tour where we'll work out outside. We'll have a station where like by the study hall building where there's like a little hill and we'll carry bags, work out on the hill, sand pit at the volleyball. It's actually a nice time, but for me, it's just be too cold out there.
Absolutely. Your recent season, your junior season, you had amazing season statistically. You finished third in all of FCS with 19 passes defended, fourth in the FCS with 16 pass breakups, and you also had 3 interceptions. How would you assess, your recent season, from an individual perspective?
Well, for me, it was just like a blessing. For me, my dream is to go to the next level. And I know to get to the next level, they pay attention to your last 2 years. So for me, it was just, I prayed and it was just the perfect timing to have this type of season to blow up. So I'm just like extremely blessed for what happened this season. And just, I'm proud that all my hard work is like starting to pay off.
Now, something that our listeners might not know, you actually started your college career at Youngstown State. You played 2 seasons, 18 games, and then when you decided to play at a different college after Youngstown State, was your intention always to stick at the FCS level, or did you look around and look at FBS programs?
My intentions were really just to find the best program for me. The situation what I was in at Youngstown, I didn't want to go through that again. So just my whole thought process was just going to a school that I know where I can shine and I can play the most. And I just felt like Austin Peay gave me that opportunity while still playing good competition where I can like showcase my skills against good competition.
Right. And that kind of leads me to my next question. For those who, don't follow as much FCS football, give us some potential misconceptions that might be debunked for a person who has played at the FCS level, throughout multiple years of college. Like, how competitive is that league and how have you been challenged?
I'll say it's very competitive because I'll say everyone who's playing football, well, not everyone, but most people who's playing football have that same goal of trying to play at the next level. So if you have that goal, you're gonna go hard. So I'll say it's just the biggest difference is O line and D line, just like the size of the trenches. As far as like skill, I feel like skills more or less the same because you'll find we got in the FCS there's hundreds of FBS transfers, 3 stars, 4 stars who just you never know their full story. So I think the competition wise, I think the competition is there both. Don't get me wrong, we all know what FBS is, but I feel like FCS has great competition as well.
Now you played multiple positions when you're in the high school level. You played defensive back, obviously, which is your position now, and then you also played running back. What made you decide to switch to the defensive side of the ball completely at college?
I really played running back and offensive side my whole life coming up from just my father and my brothers. I have a brother who's at FAU right now playing running back. So really just my whole family just played running back for me. But for me, it was when I got into high school, the opportunity, there was already a starting running back. And then the coach was like, I have an opportunity for you. You can start at corner. So I really just took that opportunity as a freshman in high school. Then I just fell in love with the position and I just stuck with corner.
So you had never played corner before your freshman year of high school.
No, never.
Like, do you have any like learning curves, or like how did that feel the first couple years? Like, all of a sudden you had to start making tackles, you had to start playing guys up in the line of scrimmage. Like, it's a completely different mindset.
Yeah, 100%. It was a completely different mindset, but I don't know. The switch for me was relatively easily because I'll say in Florida we have 7-on-7 football, so I spent time there from freshman year just playing 7-on-7 football, going against the best receivers and at DB. So my freshman year, I had like I remember having interceptions, things of that nature. So I'll say the switch was pretty easy. That's how I knew to stick with DB because from my first time ever playing DB, I think I caught a pick my freshman game, the first game of the season, something like that.
Now, this is strictly for you now as a defensive back. What do you take more pride in at your position? Picking a quarterback off, or being so locked down at your skill position that offensive coordinators and quarterbacks just don't throw to your side?
I like the lockdown part of it because that shows a different side of you. That for one, your coach can trust you to just forget about you on your side, and then that teams respect you enough to not even throw your way. And I like getting receivers mad because if you shut a receiver down and the receiver don't have a catch for the whole game, they gonna be pretty mad. So that's fun to me.
Mhm. You know, you mentioned just a couple minutes ago you hadn't played defensive back all until your freshman year of high school, but you got tackled by tackled by defensive backs when you were running back. Like, did you pick up on some things at that position, like before you even made the transition?
Just I'll say I always played defense just because a little league football you just kind of have to play both ways. But just like I'll say in Little League, I play like more of a linebacker type thing. So I'll say just always having to tackle. So that way, when I got into high school, tackling wasn't a big problem for me. It was just learning how to cover. And then I'll say I had a real good mentor my freshman year at receiver. His name was Elby Gator. He ended up going to FIU to play receiver. And that was just like one of the best receivers I ever played. So just really getting cooked by him got me better.
For younger DBs, like, what do you think is harder, actually covering long stretches during a pass play, or actually making a tackle in space?
I'll say covering because now tackling, you can just go for the ankles. It's like there's good coaches out here teaching good tackling, but I'll say for young guys, it's especially for me, it was just looking in the backfield. So just having that mental longevity to focus on your assignment and lock that receiver down because you'll always look in the backfield. Because at corner, the games can get slow. They running the ball. They're not throwing your way. So just having that mental capacity to just hone into your assignment.
Absolutely. No, you're one of your games this season you had the chance to play. in front of 100,000 people at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Alabama. You actually had some really good moments. You had a couple of pass breakups. You also sacked Bryce Young, who's going to be a most likely first rounder in the spring NFL draft. Talk about that experience playing in that type of environment.
Yeah, for one, that was unbelievable. Just having the opportunity to play against Alabama, because we all know Alabama is recognized as the powerhouse of college football, and they have been for a long time, just being coached by Nick Saban. So just having that opportunity to play against those fans, because you always dream of just playing with that many people. And I just knew, like, for me, this was just an opportunity for me, like, to showcase my skills, to see where I'm at against that talent. I just went out there and balled out. I didn't have any fear. I just went out there and played, and I ended up having the sack against Bryce Young, the forced fumble recovery, and the big hit on the pass breakup. So I'm just happy. I made my mama happy, and it was just an unbelievable experience.
Yo, there are many events coming up in the world of sports.
It'd be great to be in attendance for such.
Where can we get tickets?
SeatGeek. You see, SeatGeek is an app that can help you find the best seats with the best deals. SeatGeek shows you different tickets available, with green being the best deals and red not being the hot deals. The best part is it shows you where you'll be sitting at the event. If you use the code SportsMecca, you could get $20 off your first purchase.
Get your seat at SeatGeek today.
So, growing up in South Beach, what was the football culture like there, not just in Miami, but in the state of Florida?
It's real competitive. I'll say Miami. I think Florida just has one of the best football states out there, period. So it's real competitive. And then we have that 7-on-7 scene, as I talked about, which they're doing now. So in the spring, it's just action-packed, skill positions only, going to get it. So it's just football is year-round in Florida. You never stop playing football. So it's just everybody, I'll say, in Florida, they really love the game. And it's just real, like, love for football down there.
How do you feel the talent in Florida stacks with compared to the state of Texas and the state of California?
Y'all see what we do when, like St. Thomas, Central. Whenever we play those teams like that, we usually get them a show. We usually win. So I think my Florida, Miami in general, just putting a national scene for them whenever they play against those out-of-state teams.
Very good. So you're currently majoring in criminal justice. What do you desire to do with that degree one day?
I was looking into being a homicide detective. That always had my interest, or just going into law enforcement. I know that there's many things I could do with the criminal justice major. So
Very cool. So if an NFL team is interested in drafting you in the future, what would you bring to an NFL team?
I think I'll bring focus, someone that just loves their job, attentive, accountability, drive, and then I feel like I'll handle my responsibilities and just be a positive influence into the community.
Good stuff. Who's a defensive back in the NFL that you try to emulate when you're out there on the field?
Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward is a very strappy corner. He plays good man-to-man press. I like to model my game off of Denzel Ward.
Yeah, very good. So you're currently in the off season right now, getting ready for like spring practices, and do you guys do a spring game as well?
Yeah, we do, like, it's not really like a spring game. We do multiple spring games, like scrimmages.
Yeah. Okay. So currently in that right now, what are you hoping to accomplish in the spring and summer before you report to a fall camp?
For me, it's just working on my leadership skills. Now that me going into my senior year, my last year, I look to just bring guys along with me, younger guys, show them the ropes, show them that it's okay to just take notes in meetings, count in the weight room, just small things.
So what goals do you have for the team next season? What with your current team right now? What are you guys hoping to accomplish for the 2023 season?
Well, yeah, for this year, we're looking to build off last season. Last season, we went 7-4, and we shared the ASUN title. And we thought we should have got in the playoffs, but we weren't selected to be in the playoffs. So for next year, we're looking to win the ASUN title outright, have it by ourselves, and get our name selected in the playoffs to go in the deep playoff run.
Do you have any individual goals for yourself next season?
Yeah, for me, I just want to build off last season. I don't really come into a season looking to like lead the nation in like PBUs or picks. I just come in, try to be the best. I just want to be recognized as the best. And Austin Peay hasn't had anyone selected in the draft from their school, so I'm looking to be the first person to be selected from the school in next year's draft.
If I told you 3 NFL teams that you would like to play for one day, what would be the 3 teams that you would want to be a part of?
New Orleans Saints, 1, Miami Dolphins, and the Dallas Cowboys.
Nice, very good. Yeah, go back and play for your hometown team. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be tremendous. Get the whole family out, get everybody out, my whole community.
That'd be awesome. We hopefully one day that dream will come true, and me and Steven will definitely be supporting you and rooting for you all the way.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hey, no problem. So do you have any advice to those that are chasing a dream just like yourself?
Yeah, I'll say just stay motivated, keep your head down, because you don't really know the outcome of your future. But as long as you work, then you give yourself a chance. So just always work. Never look at the next man and what they have going on, because that's not your story. You only have your story. So I'll say to just keep working, focus on your path, and just trust God.
Awesome. Love that.
Man, Demetries, I thought you were going to say that you wanted to play for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, nah. That would be good, but that's not my top 3.
Both Sam and I are in Kansas City, so that's the team that we support. But
good luck this week.
yeah,
Be very tough.
I don't know if they beat Cincinnati. The Bengals have had the Chiefs number lately.
Yeah, and the Bengals look real good. At first, I thought the Bengals O-line was going to be a problem, but they blocked good yesterday.
Yep, gotta have a big game from Chris Jones and Frank Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for your position, I mean, the Chiefs have been fortunate. L'Jarius Sneed, he came from a smaller school too. I don't think he played at FCS, but he came from I think it might have been Louisiana Tech. Did he play for Louisiana Tech, Sam?
I think so.
Yeah, so I mean, Louisiana Tech is an FBS school, but it is a smaller program, and I think he was drafted in the 6th round, and he's really made an impact for the Chiefs. But
yeah, he's been really good.
But I don't know. Hopefully they can make it to the Super Bowl. But Demetries, do you got any social medias or potential NIL deals that you'd be willing to promote?
Yeah, I have social media. I have Instagram, which is my name, Demetries_Ford, and Twitter as well. The same name, Demetries_Ford. I tend to use my name for all my profiles. And I don't really have any NILs, but I'm open to any opportunities, and I'll be willing to pursue any NIL opportunities.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Well, Demetries, we really appreciate you coming on and sharing a little bit of your story, playing for Austin Peay, and for others. Hopefully they can learn more about you for the 2023 season.
Yes, thank you for having me and allowing me to share my story. I just appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Great to meet you and learn your story.
Appreciate you.
For those who are listening to our show for the first time, all our past and future episodes are available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter @TheSportsMecca.